Well, hello viewers. Sorry this kinda is coming out late today. I've been busy, man. You gotta respect that. I'll explain why, don't you worry. But first up, you may notice I do not have the orchestra right in front of you showing off what it does. Well, to my dismay, I kept getting this message right here. Yes. Sorry, you did not win. I spent hours constantly getting that message, you know. Figured we're just gonna move on with the game. It's not worth crying over. So, unfortunately, do not have it. And, yeah. Also, there's a spirit point here. Did not forget about it, just kind of spaced on it. But, yes, we're just gonna move on with the game. There's a possibility that the lottery may be glitched. Hydronix was actually kind of discussing that with me, that the lottery may be glitched because when you actually win, you have to wait for the item, and you could end up waiting hours upon hours not getting it. So there is a possibility that the lottery may be glitched. But besides that, I don't really care. Anyways, we are in Barragoon Tunnel and we have some new enemies. We have Ghost and Will-O-Wisp. Both are fire-based. Ghost will use homing arrow level 1, I believe, and if you're up close like I am, they will use hot steam. Will-O-Wisp, I believe, use fireball level 1. That looks like that's what it is, and other than that, pretty simple, not too difficult. Spam wire attacks on them, and they will go down pretty easily. In addition to that, you can encounter sprites about every 2 to 3 battles. They are good for grinding on because they actually drop spirit gemstones, so being that they are kind of a common enemy, you have a good chance of actually grinding up a couple spirit gemstones while you're here. Aside from that, you also have giant ants. I call them terminants in Windward Forest. I was using Quest 64 logic, but they're actually called giant ants in this game, and they are actually fire-based. I got into a conversation with Hydronix about that. And believe it or not, they are actually fire-based. I don't know why Earth was doing a pretty good amount of damage. Maybe my magic's actually that powerful, or at least it was when I got to the Windward first. But yeah, wire attacks are actually a lot stronger on them because they are fire-based. Did not know that. Also, aside from that, we do have another enemy that we have yet to see. We will be seeing it shortly. And that's about it. We have a couple boss fights coming up. But, yeah, that's about it in terms of Barragoon Tunnel. Well, okay. Barragoon Tunnel is really big in this game. It's like 3 screens. 3 separate screens. So it's actually quite a large area to go through. Fortunately, I'm using a map. I decided I just want to loot everything and get out of here as soon as possible. You guys don't want to see any more of it than you have to, I'm sure. At least I would think so. So, you know, we're just gonna make haste, get through this as soon as possible. And I'm gonna digress a little bit, like talking about my day. Basically, well, as of late, I've been saving up money. I've been saving up so I can buy a new car, and believe it or not, today, the first day that I'm looking for a new car, I find something. Well, I found several things, but I actually found a car. And yeah, believe it or not, I got a new car today. If I got a new car, I mean it needs some work done, so I gotta wait for it to be drivable, or up to par to be drivable the way I want it to be, but yeah, I got a new car today, so I'm pretty thrilled about that. I've been waiting to get a new one from the Buick I currently have. It's not a bad car, it's just, it's kind of embarrassing to drive. Not gonna lie. Also, we have Dark Goblins. How dare you interrupt my thrilling story about getting a new car? Yeah, I know, I'm not very enthusiastic. I should be a lot more enthusiastic about how my day's going. Anyways, we have Dark Goblins here. Basically, they are Earth-based. They use Rolling Rock level 1, as far as I know. My advice to taking them out is Ultimate Wind, because it does a good amount of damage to multiple targets. The only downside is Dark Goblins have quite a bit of health, so yeah, it's probably going to take about 3 spells of Ultimate Wind. Other than that, just keep an eye on your health. Speaking of which, it'd be a good idea to heal up and save right about now, because we're gonna have a boss fight very shortly. Like, as soon as you enter this narrow pathway, you run into the thief who stole the Elendel book, Lavar. Basically, he's gonna tell you that he's been cursed by the Elendel book, so he can't die. Also, he's gonna use the Elendel book to rule the world and call upon its terrible powers. Whatever, it's all a bunch of evil dictator mumbo-jumbo. Seriously, why do bad guys always have to give a speech before they attack us? Can't they just attack us, get it over with? Anyways, we have to fight Lavar. Basically, he is Earth-based, so wind attacks are going to spank him left and right. My advice, use Wind Cutter level 3. I think it does a decent amount of damage to one target. Anyways, his attacks are, I believe he's going to use Fireball level 3, but in addition to that, he can also summon this giant dragon, who's going to have this Fire Breath attack, and it's going to do a pretty good amount of damage. For that, I recommend keeping your health pretty high, because if it's not at max, it could possibly kill you, but if it's at max, I think you can survive it. I think. But, yeah, other than that, Lavar, not too bad of not too bad of a boss. The downside to this is, we're not home free quite yet. We still have one more screen of Baragoon Tunnel, we're on the last screen. And, there's actually another boss we have to fight. Believe it or not, it is not Shelf. Or however you pronounce her name. Yeah, I know. You figure it would because you fought her here in Quest 64, but no. She's in the game. We're going to be fighting her later on, but yeah, we actually have to fight someone else, believe it or not. So, that's another way how this game is different. So, right about now, I recommend saving and healing up, because once you enter this area, guess what? Boss time again! With, you guessed it, Fargo, the arson murderer. And guess what? He's going to murder a child just so he can be king of Keltland, because he needs those magical orbs. Yeah, I know. He is such a noble person, isn't he? No, he's horrible. We're gonna kill him. The downside to this is, that attack that you just saw, the little fire meteor attack, that will kill you, like, almost instantly. I mean, he does have Magma Ball, which, if you're lucky, that's all he's gonna spam, but oh god. I'm gonna tell you, I died and died over to this boss, okay? And I died over and over again because, guess what? This attack, those fireballs, each one of them does about 20 points of damage. Give or take, more or less. So, with that in mind, there's about 7 of them that just come and attack you, so unless your health is over about 140, you have a good chance of dying. It's pretty much an instant kill unless you're able to dodge enough of them. And trust me, you're not always going to get that lucky. In fact, I'm lucky I even survived to this point up until now. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to live. If you're stuck into an area like this, yeah, you're going to die. Unless you're capable of missing enough of those fire orbs, you're gonna die. I'm sorry. There's just no way. So, after dying a whole bunch, I actually got lucky. I got really lucky. For some reason, Fargo here, all he did was spam Magma Ball. He did not use that other attack. So, yeah, I got really lucky, and being that he's fire-based, the best wire attack that you can use on a single enemy is Ice Knife. So, Ice Shank him to death. That's right, we're gonna Ice Shank him to death. I'm actually proud to bring Ice Shanking back into this Let's Play, okay? I'm proud. It does me good as a follow-up. But, no, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so you might have noticed before I died in the other fights that when I used Soul Search, his health was question mark, question mark, question mark. I believe when that happens, that means the boss has over 1,000 hit points. So, yeah, I believe Fargo has quite a bit of health. But, Yeah, if you're lucky like I am, because there's a good chance you won't have about 140 hit points unless you grinded and let enemies I can't speak! Unless enemies just hacked you senselessly. Because the only way to really grind up your health is if enemies attack you. And, yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, hopefully you get as lucky as I did, and we're gonna continue Bargoon Tunnel in the next part, unfortunately. Alright, see you next time.